Take one.
I'm Nick Payne.
I'm Hakeem Ali.
And I'm Big Daddy Dre.
And we are the House of Pain. And you're watching
The Squared Circle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is June 6th, 2017. The new, reorganized, restructured, Squared Circle. We are back.
And better than ever.
Better than ever. We are ready. Are you ready, Professor Bill?
I'm always ready.
Are you ready, Dangerous Dan?
I was born ready.
Born ready. This is the new team. We're going to take the show into the future and beyond.
Yes, we are.
We are. And also coming on board will be RJ Tooth in a part-time capacity, let's just say.
He does nothing part-time. RJ is a full-in guy. So, but yes, RJ will be coming to the show.
Right.
You know, we got some changes. We got a lot of stuff going on. You know, unfortunately, Dan is still here, but you know, we can only do so much. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. You know, we're gonna have a lot of different people coming in. A lot of stuff that's gonna be interesting to the viewers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in a good place. So, you know, I know we already were out there hot and heavy over the weekend. I know you had some stuff you went to, both of you guys. I know I hit a good show on Friday night.
You certainly did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I know. I don't know if you want to go first and talk about your exciting Saturday. Was it Sunday actually?
It was Sunday.
And
right. See.
And there's a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a rumor, and Dan, you could confirm this if it's not a rumor, but that you actually got to a wrestling event early, and you got there without getting lost.
I got there early, and I got there without getting lost.
Dan was actually giving me play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the really big question. We have to, because everybody's probably sitting by the TVs, all four of them, going, did Jay and Dan get lost on the way home? Dan, would you care to comment?
Believe it or not, we didn't get lost. We made it home safe and sound. Even survived a trip to a local sub shop.
Right. Right. A trip to a local sub shop and a not so great section of town. Let's just put it to you that way.
And we didn't get agita.
No.
So that was, you know.
Right.
I don't even know.
We weren't nervous. We had a great time.
I thought that lady was going to break your little body in two, but hey.
Oh, the show is starting off on a really good foot. So what'd you do on Sunday, Jay? You got to an event. Let's tell us what it's all about.
Okay, we have footage of this event, and the people in back need to tell me whenever that footage is ready. But I do want to say it was a pleasure attending this. It was simply titled For One of Our Own.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-time deal event. It was put on by our good friends, Team 3 Stars, Ashley Vox, Delmy XO, Jocelyn, the Friendly Shark, and Davey Ann. It was to benefit a comrade of theirs, veteran of the independent scene here in southern New England, known as Mistress Belmont.
Okay.
Who unfortunately back in April lost her husband at the age of 44 and now has to take on the responsibilities all herself as far as bills are concerned, mortgage payments, what have you. So, times are a little tough. And they, the Sea Stars and Davey Ann just put their heads together and decided, to do this. It would, figured it would be a good idea, like a little fundraiser where proceeds actually are going to the right
place. Yeah.
Are going to the right place.
Yeah.
There might have been some backlash from what happened in East Haven with some people. I mean, the attendance wasn't like totally there, but you know what? It's the thought that counted. The people that came out there were willing to help. And I know the GoFundMe page is well up to over $9,000 right now. So
Yeah,
there's lots of support.
That's tremendous. You got to say is that at the core of what this is all about, you know, the what we do here, the stuff that, you know, we do at PAPW, the stuff we do at Blitzkrieg, at the core of what we do, when the chips are down for an individual in the wrestling community, and sometimes not just the wrestling community, just overall, time and time again, folks step up and do amazing things. And that's, you know, take away, you know, the wrestling stuff, and you take away what the shows are, whether it's this show or another show. When you get these people together and they're looking to help somebody, wrestling fans as a whole step up almost all the time. You know, they always are willing to, you know, it's $2, it's $3, it's $10. People gravitate to that, and you know, that's a great thing right there. You know, and you know, you just have to say is that's just what the core of what this is. You got a lot. Listen, we have some crazy wrestling fans. There's at least 3 in here, but that's what it's all about. Is like, you know, we get the opportunity to help somebody, someone who's entertained us for years, someone who we get to see after the show, whether we interview them or it's just a simple handshake and saying, hey, listen, I like what you're doing out there. That's what at the core of what it is. That's what we do. We support each other in the good times and in the bad times. So, so what happened at that card?
What happened at that card? We saw a lot of action. We got to meet some talent that we never actually have seen before wrestle.
Did we meet the Sea Stars?
We saw the Sea Stars.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure. We just want to cover that right away.
We saw the Sea Stars.
Okay, and they were doing well?
They were doing well.
Who did they wrestle?
Well, the Sea Stars, Ashley and Domi did not wrestle. Domi was actually busy. She was actually wearing a pantsuit. She was actually looking all corporate. And,
okay, good.
And trying to, you know, coordinate everything, make sure everybody was in the right place. And Ashley was pretty much running the table when you walked in. They probably felt as if they're the ones in charge, you know, to wrestle too as well. I don't know. It was either that or they just couldn't find anybody to work against. But
now they wrestle for an organization that I like very much. Not as much as one organization, but there's an organization that we've been to.
Right.
What would that organization be?
It rhymes with Ikara.
Actually, it does. That's pretty good. I didn't think you could pull that off.
Right.
So, yes, Chikara.
Jay pulls a lot of things off.
Yeah. I'm not going to even
Right.
respond to that. But, yeah,
Right.
they wrestle for Chikara. We've seen them at Blitzkrieg. Not recently. They wrestle at PVP.
They wrestled at PvP. They're no longer with PvP. They're no longer with Blitzkrieg.
Okay.
Ashley is now the Chaotic Women's Champion.
That's pretty good.
Right. I actually had the chance, whenever this footage is ready, I actually had the chance to talk to Ashley. You'll be able to see that. Plus, Brian Malonis, the Kingpin.
Okay, that's Brian Malonis has done some work at Ring of Honor.
Right.
He was in the Future Prospects tournament. Did a really nice job, and I can't recall I think he got to close to the finals, or might have been in the finals. But very impressed with him. Somebody I have not met, but look forward to meeting at some point.
Kingpin Brian Malonis he's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's almost as big, if not bigger, than Wrecking Ball.
That would be a match.
Right. We've seen that match several times. We actually might see them team up.
Yeah,
They're talking about that.
If they team up, forget it.
Right.
I would just, if they were going for the tag team belts, I would just drop the belts in the middle of the ring and run the other way. Who else did you see wrestling that?
Oh, we have Brian Malonis against Josh Briggs.
Wow.
Josh Briggs. He's an up-and-comer with Blitzkrieg now.
That must have been like a war.
It was a war. That was the way to end it. That was
So Josh Briggs wrestled at that show on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I saw Josh Briggs at Blitzkrieg on Friday. So that's a busy, very busy young man.
Yes.
Very busy.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of young men, I think perhaps the most the athlete that touched us the most was a 15-year-old athlete still in training. He's making some appearances, but it was a young man, and we'll have footage on him later, a little bit later on in the program. 15-year-old, he's defeated leukemia twice,
Wow.
and still continues to live the dream of being an in-ring competitor.
Right. Avery Forrestal.
That's his name?
Avery I don't know if that's his ring name or not, but his name is Avery, and he told us it's Avery Forrestal. There's a lot of people. The whole thing took place, believe it or not, at something called the Chop Shop too, which and if you go into Pawtucket, Rhode Island, I'm trying to remember the name of the town we were in already. Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And you go onto Conan Street, and it looks like in an abandoned building. And really, in there, if you go in there, you go down the hallway just a little bit, you're in the wrestling school of the RWA.
RWA, okay.
Renegade Wrestling Alliance,
Okay.
which I never even heard of before.
I've heard of them.
Right.
I'm just trying to remember what stuff I've seen them do. I mean, we've all gone through the internet enough to see enough stuff, but yeah, that's something. You know what? That's something we're gonna have to look up. I'm writing that in my book. They just made the list.
They just made the list of Thompson.
They just made a list of Thompson. Renegade Wrestling. You just made the list.
Renegade Wrestling Alliance. That was only a 2-hour drive. Now watch, you're going to get lost going there.
Who is?
You.
Yeah, right. That's good, Jay. I like that.
No, knowing the professor, he'll be on time. He'll have that 15-minute sandwich break.
Yeah, he's going to want to know what time I got there
level.
so he can get there sooner than that.
Right.
Right. Just to beat me to it. Yeah, this is 225 Conan Street in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Now that's your training school too, right?
That's a training facility.
Okay, good.
Right, because when we all left, they never bothered to tear down the ring. So
It might be nice to do a reach out to them and maybe do like a remote kind of thing from there one day. Maybe just see who's training out of there. Do some quick little interviews, promos.
do some interviews, promos, catch a card or two.
That's it. Yeah, it's that area is starting to really pick up. You got Renegade. Although I haven't seen their stuff. I mean, if they have a school,
Right.
they're obviously doing something well, and they've had they got some talent from the show that you saw. But you got XWA up out of West Warwick.
They're out of West Warwick.
You got a lot of let's just call it how it is, the most marketable man in wrestling right now.
He's headed up in that direction.
Richard Holiday.
He was new at NECW recently.
Yeah,
over the weekend.
Richard Holiday was all over. It was like that's how marketable he is. He has to go everywhere.
Well, he's been to CZW Combat Zone Wrestling.
Right.
He's been up in Massachusetts for New England Championship Wrestling,
Yeah.
owned by Sheldon Goldberg.
Right.
He does it. He's the champion of Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling.
Absolutely.
Which, if you have the chance to catch one of their shows, I invite you to go out and do it. For it's owned by Mario Mancini and Paul Roma.
Got
And
Big Steve
and Big Steve
and Paul Perez.
And you'd be hard to find a better pressed show in the local area.
Yeah, and they have not to get off. I mean, on what we were talking there, but PAPW's got a couple of good shows coming up in June. If you haven't seen what they're doing, they've been putting into some great stuff. The bigger one out of everything is there's a Danbury show, Danbury at the PAL in Danbury on the 17th, and that's going to have a huge battle royal. I'm not even sure how they're going to be able to fit all these guys in the ring, And then there's some newcomers going to be wrestling in that battle royal, and we'll keep that a secret. But there are going to be some new faces there. But you got a great card going to be going on up there. Not only just a battle royal. I mean, they got everybody going into the battle royal. I mean, it's like you got Kenny Roberts, Big Jim Anderson, the House of Pain. You got the Sarge is going to be there. But then you got some great individual matches up there too. You're going to have R.J. Rude, young kid, up and coming, who was on Blitzkrieg on Friday night.
How did he do over there?
He did outstanding. I know RJ. I'm name dropping right now. He's not going to get me anywhere, but he did a great job. During the match. I see good things coming from him, and he's only going to get better. Every time he gets in the ring, he's better, and just generally a very nice young man. Knows the craft. They have, for that individuals, he's going to be wrestling Mr. Williams.
Marcel Williams.
And I think it's for that strap. So, we'll have to see.
The strap.
And then, this is probably one of the most intriguing matches, that 17th, is Slick Wagner Brown. You know him, right?
Of course.
Yes, WB, long time veteran.
Yeah, I have yet to meet him, and I don't know how that's happened. But I'm going to be meeting him that day, and he's going to be wrestling. Who do you think he's going to be wrestling?
Don't know.
Richard Holiday.
New York's the most marketable man in wrestling.
He is.
And New York's finest asset.
Exactly. The interesting thing about Slick Wagner Brown is we all know they have a school, Test of Strength Wrestling. Mm-hmm. But they moved from Watertown. They moved to East Hartford. So if you get a chance to look at those guys up in East Hartford at 87 Church Street, East Hartford, Connecticut. New place. I saw some pictures. Looked like a really nice, kind of cozy area.
Right.
But I know they do shows. I think most of their shows have been on Sunday. A little bit smaller in-house venue. Mm-hmm. But you know what? That's a more intimate setting. I know Jakara does it that way. So we've seen some great shows. So that'll be interesting to see how that school continues to progress there. I mean, he's there. Someone we know, met a number of times. Ty Shine. Aubrey is up there. I've seen her on a few occasions. Doing some refereeing, and our friend from PAPW, Dave Olson, referee, has done some matches up there. So I think you see a lot of different stuff. I mean, the Rhode Island area with what we got going there, the Connecticut area. There's a lot of crossover, so it's really a nice.
We've done a
piece.
lot with PvP. We've done a lot with Blitzkrieg. We've
Yeah.
done a lot recently over the last year at Paradise Alley.
Right, and this coming weekend, you and I are going to be traveling back up to
Pioneer
Pioneer Valley.
PvP in Hadley on June 10th. And we've seen these companies grow.
Yeah.
And we're also looking to expand.
Yeah.
So we have this Renegade Wrestling Alliance facility we went to, we were in on Sunday. You got Slick Wagner Brown, which we can possibly talk to,
Yeah.
right? Maybe getting a little camera in there and taping some of that.
Yeah.
We have that. We have Ashley being Chaotic Women's Champion, and talked to a friend of hers about who might be the man in charge or a person in charge committee for Chaotic Wrestling.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying all the time, because breaking kayfabe, I don't ride around in a limousine all day. I have a vehicle.
Is that what you call it?
Right. Yes. A point A to point B vehicle, and
Folks, just so you know, next week I will not be on this show based on the way Jay's looking at me.
we put some miles. I mean, but once in a while it wouldn't hurt. I don't think. I really don't think it would.
I have to say, is like Jay actually does really put a lot of miles on his car, and you guys go to, a lot of shows that I just can't
Right.
get to a lot
Right.
of times, and I think, you got Beyond Wrestling, you got Limitless.
Right.
I think I met the promoter for either Limitless or Beyond on Friday night.
Could have been either one because both work heavily with
Blitzkrieg, yeah.
Blitzkrieg as well.
And affiliated with Blitzkrieg.
Right.
So it's just a really good thing, and listen, seeing those folks, it's nice to see that we have people moving and shuffling around from different promotions to different promotions, because if you miss them one day, you got a pretty good chance that you'll see them another day on the weekend or a week later or maybe within the month. It is really good. I was at Blitzkrieg on Friday night, so I was covering that. We had RJ Tooth was doing commentary like he always does.
Right.
We also had a friend of the show, Scott Beams, was there, his first Blitzkrieg show.
Ever.
Yes. We had Chris, who has come to the show before, and a good friend of RJ's, has become a friend of mine. He brought his kids up there. He goes to a lot of the PAPW shows. I think the whole fact is that people are branching out to different shows and willing to take that little bit extra time. I think now we as a group need to kind of push ourselves a little bit higher. Because I know, listen, getting
Right.
to Maine is a little bit tough, but if we keep
It can be done.
it can be done. You
It
have,
doesn't have to be done all the time, but
That's
it
just-
can be done.
yeah, I know a lot of, I know a few of the PAPW guys. They go to Destiny Wrestling up there in Upper State New York,
Right.
which we've talked about in regards to, they have the Wrestling Hall of Fame up in Amsterdam.
Okay.
It's right off the highway. It is only open Saturdays and Sundays, if I'm correct. But we've talked about taking that ride up there, and spending a few hours there, being able to get a look at what's actually there. The independent scene is really, really, I don't want to say on fire because that's a little cliche, but there is definitely a spirit out there in the indie piece.
Not to mention the New York scene.
Yeah, Tier 1 out of I think it's the Brooklyn area. There's just so much out there, and I think there's a little piece for everybody. And I know that Tier 1 has teamed up, and they're bringing a brand of lucha in.
Right.
So it is really amazing. And Blitzkrieg was a great show. You had Zack Sabre Jr. there, and Joey, and I hope I pronounce his last name.
Joey Janela.
Janela. They did a full half hour of in-ring wrist locks, arm bars.
You name it.
You name it. They pulled off. Zach, what Zabra was, excuse me, I thought was phenomenal. Joey was phenomenal. Some people, it was a different match. I think it took people a little bit by surprise.
Zack Sabre is one of the guys that was that big match they talked about. I think it might have taken place over in Japan. They said it might have been the match of the year.
Yeah.
He was one of the competitors. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, and a just absolute gentleman. Talked to him before the match, and I talked to him for a few minutes after the match, myself and Scott. So just an absolute gentleman. Took some pictures with him, and told them how much we appreciate it. And that's the biggest thing, is just saying do you appreciate to these folks. Of course, one of my favorites, Sidney Bacabella, was there. And he was with Smart Mark Sterling, I know, who is a favorite of yours.
Of course.
And that was an interesting match because he was wrestling CPA, and Sidney got in there and started messing around, and so they turned that into a tag team match. And I would tell you that Sidney Bacabella they were victorious.
Because there's no more Genius Bar. Genius Bar went by way of the Dodo Bird last time around, huh?
Yeah, very unfortunate. But you know what? Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Right.
So I think Mark Sterling, Smart Mark Sterling, has got some things going on. He actually introduced himself to Sasha Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Why am I saying Jennings? I don't know. Anyway, he defended his Bedlam belt,
Okay.
and I don't want to give away the ending, but Mr. Sterling introduced himself to Sasha. I think you may see something be coming up in the future with those two guys. So, and when I mean introducing, there was no handshake. It was more a pile driver.
Yes.
Yes, and
Another way wrestlers introduce each other.
thank God we don't all do that. Imagine that.
No.
People laid out all over the place.
Well, really, I think so.
Yeah, so great matches up there. Their next show, Time-
August 26th.
Yep, Time Bomb.
Right.
Is that going to be outside?
That is going to be outside.
Yeah, good shows.
Good shows outside.
Yeah.
Great times outside
Yeah, yeah.
with Blitzkrieg. This is going to be their second anniversary.
Yeah, they did a great job last year.
I
Right.
understand a woman that I've met twice already is coming back for August 26th.
I can neither confirm or deny that. You might know better than I do, but yeah, it's
The War Queen. Jade.
maybe,
Possibly.
so
Could be happening.
could be happening. I think it is happening. I think it's already out there.
It's already out there.
Yeah,
Right.
But, you know,
Speaking of August, a good friend of ours, Joey DiNucci, is looking for August bookings. If anybody wants to class up their show, add more flavor to it, check out Joey DiNucci. Give him a buzz.
is that the Joey DiNucci?
That is the one and only Joey DiNucci.
Yeah, things turned a little ugly with Mr. Hammer Tunis, huh?
Yeah, they did. Practically everywhere. Every promotion, DiNucci is like been beaten up and attacked by his own people.
Huh? Not every promotion.
No?
No, there's a place in East Haven, Connecticut.
Well, except that one, of course.
The wheels are turning.
But we haven't seen DiNucci there.
Yes, we have.
Not recently.
Not recently.
Not recently.
And
Well, you listen, I'm telling you, you know, you got PAPW, we got the 17th like we talked about, but the 25th, June 25th, Ring of Dreams, the Autism Show, Righting the Wrong,
We have to right the wrong.
Right the Wrong.
We have got to do this. We all have to pull together
Yeah.
as a community and come out and make sure we promote this. We have to be there in full support. Everybody, every podcast, every other show in the area. We can't let this guy get away with what he got away with. We have
Yeah.
to right the wrong, turn the negative into the positive, once and for all.
Yeah, like we said, the name that we do not mention anymore,
Of course not.
like Voldemort.
right.
From Harry Potter. We don't mention that either. That's going to be a great card. It's going to be part with the ASRC Autism Service Resources of Connecticut. So I know they put some stuff out there. The show is on the 25th, which is a Sunday.
Right.
Which I'm really excited about because I remember as a kid going to shows on Sundays. It starts, bell time is at 3 o'clock. I mean, it's just a who's who. You know, you got House of Pain on there, Jim Anderson with DJ Haven, Richard Holiday, Marcel Williams, RJ Root, Ty Shine, Sarge. There's just going to be a ton more people out there. So again, we got to support this. Proceeds are going to a great place. You know, Mario Mancini, Paul Roma, Big Steve, Paul Perez really made it their goal is to really put themselves out there to get money to this service that did not receive what they should have received before. And
Right.
that's all I'm really going to say about it. you
That's
know?
all we're going to say about it. It's everything's ongoing.
Yeah. So we're going to promote that and make sure that we get a great crowd there. And you know, you never know what surprises come up. You know, we've got some very innovative people there at PAPW. I get to spend a lot of time with those guys. They've been very gracious to me,
Right.
and they've been gracious to this show as a whole. You know, so just some really good stuff. You know.
We're gonna look forward to working with him much more in the future.
Yeah.
Great things are coming.
You know.
All these promotions are expanding everywhere. With,
Yeah.
with Danbury coming up, with the ice rink, PvP's got a lot of great things coming up. Not just in the places you would expect to see them at, too.
I'm sure. I'm
Right.
sure. I think a little bit of competition out there is going to start to. People are going to start to push. You know, and competition breeds.
There's going to be some competition for them.
Yes.
PvP. We'll just leave it at that.
I'm sure you'll tell us later. Maybe not.
Maybe somebody else will.
Speaking of competition and pushing in PvP, I understand Brian Malonis and Hammer Tunis, Sexy Jesus, are going to be coming one-on-one in the near future.
In the very near future, you're going to be able to see that. In the near future, not this coming Saturday.
Not this coming Saturday, but
Right.
but in the foreseeable future, they will be coming
Right.
one-on-one.
Are they still on break back there?
I think if we stare at them long enough.
It is ready.
Let's all do this.
It is ready.
Is it ready, Zach?
It is ready. I don't know how long we're gonna. Well, we got 25 minutes, but we're expecting a phone call. But let's just see what we can do.
Oh,
Interviews. Here we go.
Here's the young gentleman who were telling
Pawtucket, Rhode Island. I am here with Avery. You train at Brian Fury School.
Oh yeah, I train at the New England Wrestling Academy. I've been there for about 2 years now.
You have a very interesting story, I understand?
Yes, I do. Yes. So, I'm a two-time ALL leukemia survivor. While I was in treatment, wrestling was something that always gave me hope, and something that I've always dreamed of doing. And I just wanted to be the hope and the change in the world that those pro wrestlers were to me. So, long story short, I strive to inspire as many people as possible, just as those pro wrestlers strived and inspired me while I was still in the hospital at my lowest.
Well, we're all glad you came back. We look forward to seeing you in action one day.
Thank you, thank you.
Where can you usually find some of Brian Fury's events?
Well, all these people that train at his school, they go all over the place. Of course, right here in Rhode Island, a lot of people, Josh Briggs, Anthony Green, they all do shows down here. Of course, down in Massachusetts, there's plenty of shows. Chaotic is down there, Beyond. Limitless is in Maine. There's so many places. So really, anywhere that you go wrestling in this area, chances are you'll find one of our stores.
We'll have to come up to this area a little bit more often.
Yes.
A little bit to expand our stories.
Really?
I thank you very, very much.
Thank you guys very much.
Definitely.
Really appreciate it.
I am here with the irresistible force and the movable object.
That's right. That's right.
Kingpin, Brian Malonis.
Yes, that's me. What's going on?
Not
It's been
too
a while
much.
since we talked.
It's been a long while.
Yeah.
We came out here to support the cause.
Yes, great event today.
Mistress Belmont.
I came up a little short though.
Is that going to happen? Are you with PvP this Saturday evening?
I'm not with PvP
Nah.
this Saturday evening. No, I'll be back with PvP next month, July 15th. It's going to be me, the Sexy Jesus himself, Hammer Tunis. Yeah, one-on-one, first time ever.
We also see a kind of an association developing between you and Wrecking Ball.
Well, I think it's a mutual respect thing. I mean, sometimes when you beat the hell out of each other enough, there becomes that. Wow, I don't like Wrecking Ball. Me and Wrecking Ball aren't going out for drinks after the event, but
No.
I think we can be a force anywhere we go. Who's going to beat us?
No one.
and really, I think it's what is it? The enemy of my enemy
Right.
is my friend, right? Is that the saying? Did I get that right? Something along those
I'm
lines.
starting to understand that a little bit. Right.
But yeah, man, I got a lot going on. Since I talked to you guys, I've been doing stuff for Ring of Honor. I was in the top prospect tournament for them. And I'll be with them again on June 24th in Lowell, Mass. So
That's amazing.
I'm the #1 contender for the Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight
I was
Championship.
going to ask you about that because
Yeah.
we're looking to expand.
Yeah.
We cover Blitzkrieg, we cover PvP, we cover Paradise Alley in this season.
Yeah, man.
Our home base. We're looking to expand, and there's a lot more out there.
There is. There's a lot of
Chaotic.
great stuff, man. There's Chaotic. Beyond Wrestling is another great promotion. Limitless Wrestling up in Maine. I think we're kind of in a boom period here in New England for pro wrestling. It's just, I mean, there's so many good facilities too. I mean, we're here at the RWA, facility in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. What a beautiful facility. Wrestling is exploding everywhere, but especially here in New England, I think we're so fortunate. The talent level is just through the roof, man.
It could mean a lot. People wanting to get into the business.
How about a guy like the guy I wrestled tonight, Josh Briggs?
Right.
I mean, his career is gonna. I mean, not that I'm winding down. I feel like I'm gonna be around for a long while, but there's gonna be a guy who you're gonna see at the top and a lot of cards for a long time.
Indie wrestling is where it's at. I think it's a testament to people being disenfranchised with WWE a little bit.
Yeah. I think also too you're realizing that it's a quality product. Good talent out there.
Right.
You come out to the shows and you're spending a fraction of what you're going to spend to go to WWE, and you're getting a hell of a product. You're getting a hell of a show, and you're being entertained, and it's right in your backyard.
Right in your backyard.
Not literally, figuratively.
Intermission. Everybody's accessible.
And this is really, you're seeing the stars of tomorrow. Look at the guys that are in NXT, WWE that came out of here. You got Tommaso Ciampa, you got Sasha Banks, you got Warrior Hansen, one half of the New Japan tag champs. Like, the talent that's come out of this area. So you come to an event like today, you don't know who you're going to see that's going to be the next one.
Exactly. You can say, hey, I'm seeing this guy on Raw. I remember when he wrestled at the RWA Center.
There you go. There you go, man.
Kingpin. Definitely, it's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you soon.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Look who I just ran into. I haven't seen this woman in months now. We are now reunited. Hollywood J. Williams and the Sea Stars for at least one day only. Ladies and gentlemen, the Poseidon Siren, Ashley Vox.
Good seeing you. Good seeing you guys.
Great seeing you. You were one of the organizers of this event today.
Yes.
Was it everything you expected?
It was very, very hard to run something like this. Obviously, why would we run a promotion? This was something that we really love, and we've met in a couple of years. And Mrs. Beaumont's been around. We love her so much. And we think that the event was successful. We turned enough money for her. We couldn't do it without Domi and Jocelyn and everyone else who participated in this. Everyone had a play in this event. Everyone helped out as best as they could. She came down to see the show. Smiles, happy, and that's all we wanted. And
She's a legend in this business.
she is, and we're very happy that she came down, and we're very happy with everyone that came down to help.
Absolutely. There's still a GoFundMe.
Yes, it still is. You have a link down below.
Definitely.
Any way that you can help.
Anyway, anything else you have going on? I understand you're not a chaotic wrestling. We haven't seen you up in Minor Valley or West in a long time. But you were with Chaotic Transformation Champions.
Yeah, that was actually my first title, and it's great to hold a title that has so much history to it, and I still can't believe that I'm, the Chaotic Women's Champion, but I'm
You
there.
feel like you finally made it.
Yeah, I feel like, I set a goal from the beginning when I started, and I accomplished it, and, I just have to keep setting more goals for myself, and that was a big motivation for me. Huge highlight in my career, especially in 2017, so very happy.
Bill Thompson's going to want me to ask you this. How is things going in Chicago?
Great, everything's going great. Right now there's a big piranha that's in our way, but I'm going to...
Piranha?
Yeah.
What's this piranha's name?
His name is Murloc. He's very vicious, he's going to go down.
Right. Well, you get the 3 stars.
Yes, we do.
So I'm going to be friendly shark.
Jocelyn Friendly Shark, Domi Exo, yes.
Right.
New SeaWorld order.
The new SeaWorld order. I love that. But see, I had the NWO North Haven chapter, so I appreciate anything concerning anything concerning NWO. I'm trying to find the right word here. It's been a pleasure. Actually, get the strangers. good to see you. Real soon. Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna take the trek up there. And Chikara. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Introducing first to my right, from Rutland, Massachusetts. She is not America's sweetheart, but she is one half of Team Black and Blue. Her opponent in the corner to my left hails from the Ocean State. Please welcome Jocelyn.
Here we see the Friendly Shark taking some
Just
swimming practice around the lake.
right.
There you go.
On the waters.
There you go.
And
Nothing like a friendly shark. And we're back.
we're back already?
We get to. I thought we were going to see a friendly shark run around here.
I know. What was going on?
I've never
here?
seen an actual friendly shark, and the one time I want to see a friendly shark, it's
I
not
know.
there.
What is going
Do we
on
have
here?
somebody? Do we have a caller, Jay?
We do have a caller.
I'm not going to even touch the phone because I know I'll mess it up.
You're gonna mess up the phone?
Well, I guess I could probably not do any worse than you're going to do right now.
Well,
Right.
Jay's probably going to mess up the phone also.
You are live.
Hey, wee babies, how you guys doing?
Very, very good, Charles.
Yeah, I just got home from work, so it's another perfect day in paradise, I must say.
You must say, you must say. How
So,
are things going?
Pretty good, pretty good. So what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about past Saturday's Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling or the upcoming event for Pioneer Valley Pro?
We could talk a little bit. How was your experience for Blitzkrieg?
Blitzkrieg? Well, that was a really good show, man. You know, the main event the Joey Janela versus Zack Sabre Jr. And I know a lot of people, they hear this all the time. Oh, it's the best thing I've... Well, literally, this was like one of the best matches I've ever seen. I mean, it was like 100%, 30 minutes of 100% scientific wrestling. I mean, I just couldn't believe my eyes. I think everybody's jaw dropped watching that match. It was just amazing. Of course, Joey Janela was able to pull it out at the end, even though the fans were pretty much behind Zack Sabre Jr. But it was quite a match. I mean, it was just, I mean, I've never seen so many different kinds of holds, and it was all pretty much wrestled on the mat. You know, no punch kick with that match.
Hey, Charles.
Amazing.
It's Bill Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think we talked a few times that night, but you know, I got to concur with you, really. I mean, that match was amazing, and they kept it all in the ring.
Yep, I didn't see anybody dive out of the ring for that match.
No, and I mean, literally, they were exchanging submission holds, arm bars, everything. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the beginning people were trying to see what kind of match it was going to be. But, you know, they started calling out, there's 10 minutes has gone in the match, 20 minutes has gone in the match, and then 30. That really got it going. So I just kind of, you know, I know you're talking about how long the match was, but I think seeing it, you're just saying to yourself, it was pretty an amazing match.
Yeah, well, you know, at the 25-minute mark, both men were on the mat, and they had, you know, basically at that point they were slapping and kicking each other senseless, but they were still able to, you know, at the very end execute some serious holds and some serious submission holds. They actually made a figure 4 leg lock exciting. Mm-hmm. And how often do you see that these days? I mean, that's old hat.
Yeah.
But they took it and they made it exciting, and I think it was the match of the evening.
Yeah, I don't know how Joey's fingers were still attached. I mean, Sabre was pulling and twisting, and I went home and my back hurt after a while.
Oh, well, I mean, it was, you know, the pain factor of that match was just outrageous. I mean, they were probably a couple of very sore wrestlers by the end of the evening.
Yeah, and I found both of them to be very gracious at the end and staying a little bit later to talk to people after the match. I felt they were both very gracious, winner and loser at that point, you know?
Oh, yeah, and they were very good sportsmen as well. They shook hands, and, you know, how often do you see that with two, you know, very close rivals?
Yeah, yeah, and Zach has been... is there a country he hasn't been in? I mean, I know he's done so much stuff in Japan. He's, you know, essentially, just a legend there. I mean, he's done some great stuff. I mean, he's wrestled Ricochet. He's wrestled, you know, Will Ospreay. I mean, he's wrestled everybody in probably Noah or New Japan Wrestling. You know, and just for him to come to that building. And show us what he can do. I mean, I told him, I said, it was an absolute honor to watch you work in that ring.
Yeah, you know, he's a grower, not a shower. I think that if he were a little bulkier, he'd already be working for one of the big promotions.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, he's a big, lanky guy. He's not huge, but I mean, flat out, he just wrestled in that ring. They put on a tremendous show, and I don't think anybody was expecting them to do 30 minutes. It wasn't, you know, I was talking with RJ while the match was going. I said, and I told him, I just showed him. I go, they're going to go 30, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, it was pretty amazing. What'd you think about the rest of the card?
It was a well-packed card. You know, for the most part, I think some of the standout matches. Well, of course, the East Coast. Can I say that word on TV? The ECBC versus Massage NV. I thought that was I thought it was a humorous match. I thought it was actually quite hilarious. I thought of course, the Sandman was there, and I had to have my picture taken with Sandman, absolutely.
What did you think about the pop with him?
Oh, yeah, it was amazing because, you know, you had Dandy Man and Narciso Rex beating on poor Isaiah Rex, and he's up there in the rafters with his beer, and he comes down from the balcony, and he's pouring beer down people's gullets, and he's schmoozing with the fans while poor Isaiah's getting his butt kicked in the ring.
Yeah.
But then, you know, he comes in and he turns out a really entertaining match. And in fact, I kind of missed the finish of Isaiah pinning Narciso because my attention was focused on what Sandman was doing.
Yeah, he was wielding that cane around. I was like, that thing has got to hurt so much.
Well, I would concur.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly wouldn't feel like getting hit with a bunch of roses.
Yeah, well, yeah, unless they have thorns in them. But yeah, I saw Dan the Man after the match, and he was he was flexing his back around a lot. I said, "How'd that feel?" He just looked at me, and goes, "Do you think it felt good?" And then he told me to get out of his way.
Yep, that sounds like Dan the Man. After all, probably called your wife a pancake maker while I was at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Dan the Man is no slouch. He has wrestled. I mean, I think if you go back and look at everybody he wrestled, you'd be like, this guy's, you have to say he's almost like a legend in the local scene. I mean, he's wrestled everybody, and his matches are so consistent. You just look and go, how could somebody be that consistent all the time? And I think it just goes to his overall work ethic and just the experience he has. And I think that's something that a lot of the up and coming wrestlers should really look at is like, hey, I'll wrestle anybody, any style. My hat's off to Dan, although he told me to get the hell out of his way. Hats off to him because he did a great job and continues to impress. And I've seen him in the ring at PAPW. And again, just consistent match all the time.
And who knew Bacabella could wrestle?
I knew he could wrestle.
You knew he could wrestle?
I knew he could wrestle. I wasn't really happy with his tights assortment.
Oh, that singlet he wore?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but did your eyes hurt after?
Yeah. I'd much rather watch Skylar, I will admit.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you mentioned Skylar. Well, listen, I can tell you that my eyes are still burning from seeing him out there, but he is a great competitor. But what did you think about the Bedlam match? I mean,
Skylar is amazing. That dive she took on all 5 of her opponents was completely awesome. I mean, she's just, I see her going far in the sport.
Yeah.
I think Skylar is a real standout. I think she really helped to make that 6-man scramble the match that it was. It was a really good match, and it was especially good as an opening match. I mean, for an opening match, usually you'll see a singles match of two undercarder guys, and here they pulled out all the stops. They had Scotty Wilde, they had R.J. Rude, they had Hermit Crab from Chikara, and they had Skylar, and I can't forget Travis Huckabee, now can I?
No.
And it was a really good match. I mean, they did a lot of diving out of the ring, and of course, Scotty Wilde will be Scotty Wilde with his crotch shots. But can I say that on the air? Can I say
you
crotch?
just did.
Oh, I just did twice, didn't I? Oh well.
Charles, what did you think about the knee that she took from Scotty Wilde? I literally thought her head was going to get snapped off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's going around on Facebook, as a matter of fact. I believe that Miss Joanne Robinson had taken some footage of that, and she put it up, and it's just an amazing shot. And she took it like a champion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she took it.
Absolutely, and was able to get up from it.
Yeah, got up and battled it out. And I'll tell you what, Scotty Wilde, he's looking pretty good. We had a chance to talk to him after the show, and he's lost a few pounds, and he looks very good in the ring. He's always been a very good in-ring performer. I was always impressed with him, but he's put himself in a nice workout program, and he's shedded some pounds, and he looked tremendous in the ring.
Well, let's talk about what's coming up with Blitzkrieg Pro, because let me tell you, they announced some major stars that are going to be appearing at Time Bomb August 26th. They got Marty Jannetty's coming back. Mm-hmm. They got Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas himself is going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And another pro wrestling great, I believe Bob Orton Jr. is supposed to put an appearance for Time Bomb on August 26th. So I guess I'm going to be broke. I'll probably have to sell a kidney.
You're not going to. You personally aren't going to be around for this Saturday at the Legion Hall in Hadley for PvP, but
Unfortunately, no. But they used a photo I took of of Johnny Idol slapping Sexy Jesus himself and used it as the header for one of their on Facebook for their event. So it's always flattering to see one of your photographs, used by the promotion. They liked it well enough, and it feels good. It's a good feeling. So I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
And in fact, this is the first PvP show I've ever missed, and hopefully ever will miss.
Yeah,
So-
I have to say, Charles, and I've told you this in person, you do a tremendous job recapping the shows you go to.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know what? And we had a good talk at the show, but I just from my personal perspective, I appreciate it because I don't get to go to every show, but you put that stuff out there, and after I read it, I feel like I was there. So from us, we really appreciate what you do, and keep on doing what you're doing. You do a great job.
Well, there are times when I feel like I want to quit doing it, but then somebody will come up and they'll say that they read my stuff and that they really like the stuff that I write, and they enjoy reading it, and that just makes me want to keep doing it. So,
Absolutely.
all the fans out there, thank you. Ernest K. Fabian loves you, baby.
Absolutely, yeah. I know the main event's Johnny Idol against debuting Wild Man Congo. You got Skylar versus Davey Ann for the women's championship. Who we were just about to watch take on Jocelyn, but something happened with the footage. I have no idea.
Technical
Go with
difficulties.
Skylar.
Right.
Yeah, I designed that belt she's wearing, so.
Oh
I
wow,
know you did, yes.
that's
Yep.
awesome.
As well as the PvP championship itself, correct?
That and the tag team belts.
Right.
You are a man of many traits.
He is.
Oh, thank you, man.
Right.
And Charles, excuse me if I get this wrong, you know how my memory is, but you were actually a fan of the year one year.
I was the debut premier fan of the year, the very first.
Right.
And in fact, at the third annual Golden Grapplers, I got to present it to the new fan of the year, which is actually more than one person. It's the Schluter family.
Correct.
Yes, the entire Schluter family is the PvP fan of the year for this year. So
Wow, that's
it
saying
was,
something.
it was a great pleasure and a great privilege to present it to them, and they're very deserving. Very deserving.
Absolutely. Well, I do thank you for calling in. We do have to wrap things up here, but
Anytime, brothers.
so we won't see you this Saturday, but the next one is going to be in July, I believe, right?
Nope, there's a show June 17th, I believe, a week later in Holyoke, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I don't believe we will be at that one. We will be at.
Already paid, babies.
You'll be there.
Ernest K. Fabian loves you. All right, bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Take
there,
care, Charles. Stay well, my
Charles.
friend.
Definitely.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Mr. Charles, I got to go back there and issue correctives now. I don't know what happened to you. You were so looking forward to seeing the Friendly Shark.
I'm disappointed.
I know. What is going on back there? You see, you made the professor cry now. He just wanted to see the Friendly Shark. We have to wait till next week.
I don't know. I think I just fainted.
Right.
So what do we got? How much time do we have?
We got about 2 minutes.
Oh, we got 2 minutes. So
Right. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that Friendly Shark footage.
You know what? I'm sure we'll see the Friendly Shark again.
Right.
We have 1 minute.
We have 1 minute now. Oh,
So you want to wrap it up?
We're going to wrap it up. First of all, I want to say, want to thank all the veterans and their families. Today is D-Day, of course.
Yes, thank you very
Important
much.
date in American history. Going back to that card real quick, the one of our own, the GoFundMe site, I'll tell you the link right now, GoFundMe.com, in memory of Rob Bazylewicz. It's BAZYLEWICZ. Definitely, you can contribute by all means. We will see you next week. We will have definitely, I don't want to have to write people up, definitely one of our own footage. Throw some PvP footage in there.
Yeah, I'm sure they're in the back really scared right now. So.
No. They'll be scared in about 2 minutes.
Oh.
On the all-new, bigger and badder than ever,
Square Circle.
Square Circle.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night and
Peace.
good luck. See you next week.
forgot the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah.